Paul Jaremko's garage. And I use that term loosely, and you'll understand that as we walk around the garage and look at some of the cars in his collection. If you've been in Spokane for any length of time, you either know Paul Jaremko or you've heard of Paul Jaremko. Paul and his wife Judy, for a number of years, owned and operated Jaremko Nissan on East Sprague, and prior to that it was known as Valley Datsun. Paul's father, Fred, operated Jaremko Datsun on North Monroe here in Spokane, in what is now the Silver Car Auction building. Today we're going to walk around, look at some of Paul's cars, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what makes them so special to him. As you might know, Paul has a soft spot in his heart for Nissans and Datsuns. In fact, he brought home the very first SCCA trophy to Nissan in 1964, campaigning a 63 Datsun 1500 Fair Lady, and we're going to take a look at that car today also. So let's get started. Paul, what I'd like to talk about a little bit is car number 74, the 63 Datsun 1500 that you won the first SCCA race in for Datsun back in '64. Could you tell us a little bit about that car and why it's so special?
Well, we were a British motor dealer. We started in 1947 with this car, drove this car from Vancouver, BC. British Motors came in and canceled my dad because they wanted to put their own store in Spokane, which they did. Broke his heart, of course. I'd been talking to the little company called Datsun, so I got a hold of Mr. Kadayama, and he sent a man up. Luckily, the guy was persistent. And what it took to get a franchise in, 3 cars. And then the sports car, we had to buy 3 pickups. Pickups? What do you mean with trucks? We're not a truck dealer, sports car dealer. So anyhow, the guy stayed with us for 3 days. He finally went out, got the trucks, put them on sale, $14.95. Called Mr. Kadayama, could you please send us some more trucks? Anyhow, so we had to establish Datsun, right, in the sports car market. And that's why I started racing the car. And the car was way beyond what anybody thought it would be.
So that was back in July of '64 when you won that SCCA race, I think.
I think it was July, summer.
Well, that was a big deal for
well, we had
Datsun.
Yeah, it was a national race, so we got all the factory cars. We had to race against the factory Triumph team, Kaz Kasner. The best. So we got, and we win the first race overall. They hated us up there. So after that, Mr. Kadayama's signature is on one of those pictures of my wife holding the victory flag. It's on the board over there.
Very cool.
So anyhow, what happened when this car first came out, it only had 1 carburetor. Mr. Kadayama, gotta get better stuff on this car. Better timing, distributor, extra carb. You know what he did? Got a new track in Eugene, Oregon. We went there, and a factory rep from the factory came up and installed all this equipment on the car.
Oh.
Yeah, and we won that race as well.
All right.
Because we only had a single car, but it was a dog. Shut up, Jaremko. Okay, bye. Anyhow, but the most fun with that car to me was the hill climb. Winchester Hill Climb.
Winchester.
44 turns in 4 miles.
Wow.
Lots of hot cars.
Now, how about
Won that overall.
the 7240, the red one?
Yeah.
What's the story on that? That's kind of a resto mod. That's got a 280Z engine in it. Is that right?
240 originally, of course.
Yeah.
And my parts manager, Jim Lee, it was his car, and he did that project. And the reason he bought that car, I don't know if you got a picture of that, what it was to begin with. It was nothing but a skeleton. But we were able to get the pieces then from the factory, all original. So he spent a couple of years putting that car together. We put it together and painted it in our shop. He took the car to the national meet, got a second. And so I bought the car from him because he was going to sell it to somebody else. I said, Jimmy, you're not getting this car out of the family. So he comes down, drives it once in a while, take it to Sound Mart for their auto show.
Okay.
Anyhow,
Okay, and you got another car, another red 240 down there, the Fair Lady, which is right-hand drive, originally a Japanese car.
Anybody know Dr. Hedquist around here? Who Dr. Jane Hedquist were? You're all too young. Yeah. I take a ride in this car. I said, what's with this car? She said, look at that steering wheel. What's it doing over there? You know what she called that car? Steering? Wrong hand drive. Wrong hand drive. So anyhow, I always hoped I'd get stopped driving that car with somebody in it. And I did. Cop came up and said, pull over and said, let me see your driver's license, to my wife. She goes down, I'm not driving, sir. Don't get smart. I want to see your driver's license. She says, officer, I am not driving this car. He started to get red face. Finally, she says, look, officer, no steering wheel. My husband's driving on this. So we had some fun with that one.
Well, that's a great story. That is an absolutely great
We're
story.
buying the car just for that. But the car was chartreuse, and I couldn't stand the color, so I painted. That was a big mistake. Low mileage car, and I went and painted because I love red anyhow.
Well, it sure looks good.
I wish I'd left it where it was, kept it original. But that was the story on there. But that's got the 240 motor, but it is a Fairlady Z, not a 240.
Mm-hmm.
Japanese.
All right, now the car next to it, the Skyline GT, that's an 89. I think you said that's got 13,000 miles on it? Is that?
13,000.
That's original
I think
paint?
about 20,000 kilometers or something like that.
Wow.
Cars, it's all
And
original.
those are all-wheel drive?
Yep.
All-wheel drive with a transaxle, so the transmission's in the back.
Not sure. I think so.
I think it does. I could be
I
wrong,
don't
but I think it does.
Anyhow, whatever, it works.
So that's a pretty fast car, though, too.
Very fast.
How many horsepower does that have, do you think?
Well, that one, when my grandson gets done with the motor, he's going to move it up from 2600 to 3 liter. So, enough.
Enough. So I think it was originally about 275 or something.
About 275 originally, with the 260.
Uh-huh.
Burgundy car next to him. We bought that car to race. It's a little edgy, but on the body work, but the motor's good. It's got about 500 to the wheel.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's got.
But the Skyline's pretty rare, too, because they only made those from, what, 89 to 93?
Actually,
4?
it started in the 60s.
Right, the first version of that
First car
Skyline.
in the 60s.
Yeah. All right.
And in this series, I think, started in 89, this body.
Yeah, I think.
And then they improved it in 92 or 3. Of course, now it's a different car.
Okay.
But it's a killer.
Beautiful car. The Bug-Eye Sprite, I've got to ask you about that. Why do you have a Bug-Eye Sprite in your collection?
Why do I have it?
Yes.
Because I have an obsession with the right cars. I have an obsession in my life. And that's one of the obsessions. Just look at how beautiful that car is.
Well, it's a perfect car, absolutely.
Hey, just go out and find something that looks as beautiful as that.
Yeah.
With those headlights. Anyhow, I had a little fun with that car. It's a great solo car. Had fun in California with that car. Past summer days, 3 times out.
Very good.
I even think there were some Porsches there.
You were beating Porsches?
Everything. Corvettes, Porsche. The big thing then was TR3 Triumph and MGA.
Okay.
There were a few of them with roll bars.
Great.
Anyhow, just fun.
Okay. Well, thank you very
Have some
much.
fun sometime, guys. Cars are the best way. But it isn't the cars only. You know what my slogan is, don't you?
What's that?
Haven't I given you my card yet?
I don't think so. I think you gave it to Lynn. That's what you did.
Don't move, just tell us.
This is Mr. Kaneyama's slogan. And I put it on my card. Love cars, love people, love life. And I've adopted that slogan now. It's on all my cars. Because isn't that what we're all about, you guys? It's just that car. It's what comes with it. The people.
Yep.
Something that I do with my sons. They were Mark, a 4-time national champion, won in India a couple of years ago. Something that we do together. I get tears in my eyes. I see the boys do well, and they do well.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you guys very much. This is a real pleasure. I've enjoyed.
We hope to come back sometime and look at some more of your cars. Thank you.
I hope so too. You're always welcome.